afternoon, we are focusing on our friends and our families here at ABC. I am Brooke Bell, your host this afternoon. I welcome you again, and I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Cedric Aaron, who is not only an alumni, but he is an ABC employee and a friend of the college. He is going to introduce to you our friends this afternoon. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, Ms. Bell, and good afternoon. I have the distinct honor of introducing our guest today. Our guest today is Pastor George Parks Sr., Pastor George Parks Jr., and Reverend Jeremiah Parks. Both Reverend Parks and Jeremiah, Reverend George Parks Jr. and Jeremiah are alumni of American Baptist College. But I'd like to start this interview off today with Reverend George Parks Sr. I would like to begin by asking you, how did you become involved in American Baptist College, sir?
I was a college student athlete in Knoxville in the late 70s, and I was a track person there in Knoxville University, and I was really struggling with my in Dayton, Ohio, Reverend and Morris Smith, class of 77, were great people in my with my college, so I came to Nashville.
So these gentlemen became your mentors, and they introduced you to the American Baptist College community?
Yes, the late Reverend Jimmy Terry, class of 77, and Morris Smith, class of 77.
What is your personal philosophy on education and spirituality, Reverend Parks?
I believe that education is a must.
And so I saw that you saw the importance of education and you instilled it in both of your sons, who both are alumni of American Baptist College. And I think that it's important that, you know, education plays a major role even in ministers and congregations today, as opposed to, let's say, churches of yesterday where pastors were trained on the backside of the desert, and you saw the importance of education. So you sent both of your sons to American Baptist College.
Yes, I was in the American Baptist College in the class of 1983, and graduated there in 83. And as I started giving back to the school with children, we had an 1983 left an endowment to American Baptist. President Forrest Harris wrote an endowment into some other things, but I thought it would be necessary to give back. So the class of 83, which was my graduating class, we had left an endowment to the school because we thought it was vital and important to be a part, but also to give back.
I think that's great, and I think that with your continuing legacy, you gave back to the college by allowing your sons to come to be a part of the Great American Baptist College. Reverend George Parks Jr., let me ask you a question. You grew from a student at American Baptist College to an ABC board member, which speaks a lot about your commitment to the college. Can you tell the community why you care so much about American Baptist College?
Well, I care about American Baptist College because first, by my father's example, I saw how much he invested in the college. He served as the alumni president when I was a child before I ever thought about coming to the school. And my father has served on the board of trustees at the college. So that was the starting block of my birth. And I always want to give back because it is the incubator of my theological education.
what was your motivation about ABC when you first came to the school? What is it that motivated you and excited you about coming to the Holy Hill?
Well, what motivated me was we've always had a great Class A faculty. During those days, who on the faculty were Dr. Don Toy, James Campbell, Pastor Darrell Drumright, the late William F. Buchanan, the late Carrie Harrison. So we always had grade A faculty. And what part of my motivation to come to ABC was to be the best individual leader preacher that I could be. And the school indeed gave me that launching pad.
Can you tell this community what is it that motivates you now from being a student and an alumni of American Baptist College to now being a board member of American Baptist College?
My motivation is I want to see American Baptist College to continue to go up the trajectory, to be a school that's on the world stage that produces leaders, moral leaders and thinkers in the world. ABC is too great of a school for it to be a regional school or local school. It is a world-class school. So one of my motivations as a board member is to represent the best of the school and to continue to help bring friends and freshmen and funds to the institution.
So what is it that you told your younger brother about your journey and your matriculation on the Holy Hill? What type of advice did you give your young brother about coming to the Holy Hill?
I said it was fun, but you better get your lesson. You better finish.
That sounded more like a father than a big brother.
Well, you know, it's 10 years between us, so.
Okay, I got you.
So I'm grateful to proclaim the Parks men were not career students. We all went on time and we graduated on time. Everybody's journey is different, but my dad finished in 3, I finished in 3, and I think Jeremiah finished in 4. So we were not career students. We went there and we got our lesson and we left.
So if you could give advice to future students that want to come to American Baptist College as a person who have lived the experience on the Holy Hill, a person who has taken their education to postgraduate degrees and received your master's and doctorate degree and now sitting as a board member of American Baptist College, what could you tell a potential student about the Holy Hill of American Baptist College and its education?
At the Holy Hill, you will get one of the best educations. You will be stretched. You will be taught how to think critically about the world, theologically, in light of everything that's going on in the world. And it's one of the greatest places where you can get an education in the classroom. And you also have this kinesthetic learning, this hands-on learning outside of the classroom that's next to none. The in-classroom life, the campus life is all great, and it all plays a part into your maturation and development as an individual.
Jeremiah, you're my classmate, so I'm gonna pose some questions to you. Now, you know you had some hard shoes to fill coming behind your dad and, you know, your brother. Now, although your brother's a Kappa, he's okay, but you still had some hard shoes to fill coming up to the Holy Hill. Yes, my eyes are being blinded by that red color, but that's okay. Right there, purple overrules. Listening to your brother and father, and both of them have matriculated on the Holy Hill, what made you decide that this is the path that I want to trailblaze?
Actually, probably at an early age, because there is a 10-year gap between my brother and I. Actually was, I think, one of the very few times I was exposed to American Baptist College. You know, both my dad was board member. You know, one time my brother currently is now. But I can remember mostly when my brother was a student. I was probably at that time, I don't know if I was probably supposed to be on campus, but I was on campus and seeing more so the close knit of family between, I think, some of his dorm mates being, can't remember everyone, but Delbert Vaughn, Cedric Cheatham, Tim Carruthers. That in itself was very unique. And I think for me, I think many people would probably say I'm heavily an introvert by far. Part of it just because there is a 10-year gap, I'm more so just accustomed to being by myself. But I believe going to American Baptist College would help me understand by far the beauty of family, but also the understanding the beauty of how people, you need to be around people. Being around people ends up allowing you to become just more well-rounded of a person. And because of the family niche of American Baptist College, I did something that I probably would not tell any student to do in today's society. That is to apply to only one school. But that was really my reason and how I decided to come to American Baptist College.
Now, I'm looking at 3 generation people who have come to American Baptist College, and I say 3 because you say the 10-year gap between you and Reverend Parks Jr. And I think that there was 3 different types of teaching at the college then, but all of y'all talked about something different that y'all brought away from the college. And I know that y'all have collaborated. But Jeremiah, tell me one thing that you brought away from the college compared to what your dad had got when he was there and what your brother got when he was there, and y'all sat down and talked. What is one thing that you got out of your education?
Probably, I would have to say the ability, I think Brother Mahini took a little bit of it, and that is the critical thinking aspect. Coming from, being a traditional Baptist church, in which, of course, my father was by far my pastor. When I came to American Baptist College, pretty much it was like the floodgates opened up, meaning American Baptist College helped me have a more of a global and a world perspective as it relates to God and theology, in something in which growing up, in essence, I did not necessarily receive. I always, of course, knew about, of course, the importance of God, but the importance of understanding Black theology, how it has shaped my view of Scripture, definitely, and how that's allowed me to kind of quickly think, but also kind of just be well-rounded in other spheres of going to other institutions. It's kind of helped me be a little more well-balanced as it relates to understanding this is the learning that I received at American Baptist College, and I'm proud of it.
So now you work in the admissions office up on the Holy Hill of American Baptist College. How do you use your personal story and your journey to share with potential students about not only being a student, but not being employed in the admissions office of American Baptist College?
I try to get the students, any prospective student, to understand, first of all, their potential. I'm, more than aware that we desire high quality students at American Baptist College, and while I do think that is great, I am also aware that there are other students who needs to be poured into and to understand that they too are valued. That is something which we at American Baptist College have always have put to the forefront. People have potential, people have value. And I think in this season that I am right now, I think that's really my calling to American Baptist College, and that is to understand, to get every young man and woman to understand their value, and to understand that if you're looking in essence for a close-knit college, family environment, world-class faculty, learn life skills, and also just the understanding of what it means to be a moral leader and thinker, that American Baptist College is that place for you.
So you were a Belmont Scholar at ABC, you graduated from the institution, you went on to Baylor and earned your master's degree, and now you came back to the Holy Hill while you're working on your doctorate degree. That speaks volumes about your dedication coming back to a place that educated you to want to come back and work. Your story is a story of dedication to this great institution. Would you care to share why there's such a great dedication?
I think, once again, I think my brother hinted at it. That is, of course, probably way beyond before I was born. My father and others, senior sages such as James Turner, Lake Curtis Goodwin, and others have poured into the school. And I thought, again, it was also just my more responsibility as well as to give back. So when the opportunity arose for me to come back to American Baptist College, I knew in the stage of where American Baptist College is right now, I knew perhaps it would be a challenge, but I admit, if there's anything that I think my life has kind of been a testament of is not normal. And that is, sometimes, God can sometimes put us in places where we never thought we would go and be, but ultimately it helps us still to propel us to our purpose. And so I came back to American Baptist College because I believe me not being so far removed from being a student, but also being a staff member, I kind of got the best of both worlds. I can speak from a student perspective that oftentimes many students are looking for, and they can help, kind of take my word, knowing when I say that, this is not a cookie cutting institution, but it is an institution that's going to help you think and grow. Your maturation as a student, as a thinker, and as a leader, once you leave, will be better off. It is what means the world to me. So that's what brought me back to American Baptist College.
We appreciate the Parks sharing their story with us today, but I wanted to give each of one of you an opportunity with closing remarks to give me some thoughts about, American Baptist College and how it can make a difference. And anything else you'd like to just share with us, please do so at this time.
I'll let Dad go first.
American Baptist offers a global education, and as it continues to with the challenge of sharing the opportunity to young people, I just want to continue to be a part and to help wherever I can to help share that global message, as well as to help get students in so that they can have the same opportunity that I received some many years ago.
I would tell individuals, American Baptist College is a wonderful school, a wonderful place where you can go, and it's a place, even if you have untapped potential, it's a place that can curate you and cultivate you and make sure you reach your God-given potential. If you're looking to be a well-thought, well-rounded preacher, most of all, just a leader and a contributor to the greater good of the world, American Baptist College is the place. A great HBCU where you can join the ranks of the likes of James Bevel, John Lewis, Dr. Scruggs, up to our contemporary graduates of Timothy Carruthers, Damian Dorr, Cedric Cheatham, Don Darius Butler, and the list goes on. It is a great cadre of graduates who are making significant contributions to the world that you can join those ranks.
As I've said already before, and that is American Baptist College is a place that in essence that any student that perhaps needs a fresh start is that place. And so if someone is in need of a fresh start, in need of change, and is ready to be a student and is ready to conquer perhaps the change that many have say is perhaps in need of change, American Baptist College is that particular place. And I believe, I'm sure a video that's probably going to be played kind of speaks of that, even in a more succinct way.
We thank y'all for joining us today and sharing your story about your journey up on the Holy Hill. And we just want to let everybody know that each and everyone can create your own journey, your own story at American Baptist College. And I can attest to, as well as all three of these gentlemen, that I'll put my American Baptist College education against any college education when you're going into a master's program.
Absolutely.
And I know that these Parks brothers and father can attest that when they went into their master's program, they stood out among their peers because of the education that they received up on the holy hill of American Baptist College.
Indeed.
Thank y'all for sharing your story, and thank y'all for sharing your journey with us today. And we appreciate y'all being with us today.
Thank you, Mr. Aaron.
Thank you.
I would just like to thank everyone this afternoon. Mr. Aaron, thank you for moderating this great friends and family session on the Holy Hill with the fresh start. Reverend Parks Jr., you were listing off all the great people who have come across that hill, but you left off 3 names. And I want to applaud you guys for your continuous contribution to American Baptist College. If it had not been for George Parks Sr., we would not know who George Parks Jr. is. And if it had not been for them two together and told the little brother to come on over to the Holy Hill, Jeremiah Parks would not be in the roof and the wall of our everyday life at ABC. So we thank you for what you do and to help make our institution even bigger and better every day. I just want to thank you guys again for your time. If you don't know, please know that you can apply for our spring session today. Go to abcnash.edu and look for admissions. And you just might get a call from your own Jeremiah Parks. So I think we want to end this session with a great video. Thank you again for your time, and we look to see you next Wednesday at 2 p.m.
Thank you.
You don't have to be a preacher. You don't even know or have to know exactly what it is you want to do next week or next year. All of our lives are like undeveloped film. Until someone touches us with their knowledge and their understanding, only then can we develop into the picture that God wants to see. Your picture may not be my picture. Your passion may not be my passion. But together is how purpose is birthed. That's how purpose is molded here. You go, into a dark room, and in the dark of your life is what births something beautiful, a picture that others can see that because you made it, I have now at least the belief and the hope that I can make it as well. So you don't have to be a preacher. You don't have to preach. You don't have to necessarily even go to church. But this is the place that purpose is birthed. The question becomes, are you willing to be in the dark until someone puts their knowledge or their understanding on you so that you can develop to the picture that God wants to see?